Yay. Okay. All right. So, everyone, we are really excited to welcome you here today to join Kate and I and Ben in the background to be here live with you for the first time that we've ever gone live on our Facebook page. It's been 6 years, so, better late than never. We are here to officially launch our brand new Abby's Run Equestrian branding, which is very exciting. Um, the technology has been challenging, if you haven't already gathered that, as it is wont to do. And we're going to be here and be live probably for about 20 or 30 minutes. Although, Kate and I already know that we could talk a lot for a long time. So before I go any further, I just want to take a moment, particularly given that it's NAIDOC week here, and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands that we are broadcasting from today, which for us is the Waywuru, Bangarang and Tangarang peoples. I pay my respects to elders past and present. I want to acknowledge traditional custodians' connection to and care for country that here extends back tens of thousands of years and continues today, which is just so incredibly special. And I also acknowledge any First Peoples who are watching this live or watching this live replay. And I hope you have a fabulous NAIDOC week. Okay, so let me just introduce this by saying that we have found it particularly hard with Abbey's Run Equestrian to articulate what it is that we do. We can do that with a lot of words, but it's really hard to do it quite succinctly, like an elevator pitch style, for those of you who know what an elevator pitch is. Once upon a time, I used to give horse riding lessons. And most people know what that looks like and they understand that. But what I do now is so different, and how I deliver what I do now is so different that it's been really challenging to find the words to explain it. Now, as you know, if you follow our page, I am not a fan of AI. And I will avoid AI wherever I possibly can in favor of real life human beings. So while some people might turn to AI to find the words, we instead turn to a real life human called Kate Hendry, who's here, to help us find the words to articulate what we do. What we do here is not conventional, and it's not mainstream, and it's not traditional. It's something really different, and it's not like it's really modern, because in fact it's almost paring things right back, but it just doesn't fit into kind of that mainstream model. So yeah, we found an expert called Kate to help us. So I'm really excited to welcome Kate Hendry here from Finbo Creative Studio, who has volunteered her time to come and chat with me today. Kate is over in Warrington in the UK. I love working with folk in the UK and supporting folk in the UK. It's my ancestral home. It's a very cool place for me. And we've been working on this project with Kate since March of this year. I've got notes over there, by the way. That's why I keep looking over this way. Um, so yeah, if you've got any questions around branding, because Kate's going to talk to us a little bit about branding using our business as an example, and with Abby's Run Equestrian, please feel free to pop them in the comments here in Facebook. And if you've got any questions about what we do here at Abby's Run Equestrian, same goes. And Ben is sitting outside in the hallway. I'm not sure why, but he's going to yell out if there are any questions that pop up in the comments. So, Kate, thanks for bearing with me while I give that spiel to
No
introduce
way.
us. Can I just start by asking, who are you other than being Kate Hendry, and what is your background that makes you an expert at this stuff?
Yeah, so well, I'm Kate and I run Finbo Studio, which is a brand and creative agency specializing in the pet and animal sector. Um, I've been doing this as sort of me as Finbo for 5 years, but I've got, when I tried to work it out the other day, it was insane. I think it's 18 years experience across design, marketing, branding, in many different environments. So I've worked in printers, I've worked as in-house design, and I've done a little bit of agency stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm a huge lover of anything that moves. Whether it, I've got a dog. I love any animal. I've got a lizard. I've got a snake. I've got some fish sitting next to me, which is why sometimes I have a blue cast because that's the fish tank. But yeah, I decided to sort of lean into the animal sector because I have a massive passion for it, and I find that people who also love our animals are brilliant people. Not being prejudiced at all, but I just think anyone who has a real affinity with other living creatures is all good in my book.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir here, really,
Yeah,
with that.
hopefully.
Yeah. So Kate, we worked on a brand strategy with you, and
Hmm.
I know that you're big on espousing that branding is more than just a logo and visuals. It's often the piece
Hmm.
that we see most prominently or clearly, but there's a lot more that sits behind a brand than that. And so, what even is a brand strategy? Can you explain that to the people who are watching?
Yeah, your brand strategy, the way I describe it to people, sorry, itchy nose, is imagine you've got a big jigsaw puzzle, and that is your business. A brand strategy is you will come in and you'll have all these pieces in the jigsaw puzzle, and they're often loose in the box. You can shake up that box. And that is how most people will sort of see their businesses. And when they want to talk about a certain piece, they'll pick up a piece and they'll talk about that piece. Or you've got your corner pieces, you know the four things you always say. But there's often a little bit in the middle where it's a little bit scrambled, and you could either waffle a little bit or you could um, go off on tangents. But branding, the strategy is essentially filling in that jigsaw piece so that you've got the structure, you've got the understanding, the clarity. You can feed it back to people in a much more succinct way. Um, and it can either be as simple or as complex as you want to make it. But the idea is once the puzzle is done, that then carries through. So I think with Abbey's Run, um, when we started to build things, it was quite structural, wasn't it? Because we did, your way of working is extremely sort of foundational, and you instill a lot of the foundations of working with horses, but as a real cornerstone of everything that you do. So then it was like structuring things around that and around all kinds of things. So the values, everything that underpins why we do what we do. What is the purpose? Um, in any animal industry, there's lots of businesses that essentially do the same thing. So, like for example, I've worked with like 4 or 5 different dog trainers, and essentially they all train dogs, but it's how they don't all just train dogs. Each one of those people that runs that business has a different set of values, a different way of doing things, a different energy, a different, well, everything, a different approach, for example. And it's just flipping that. So that sits at the top. So you don't just become, oh, that dog trainer, you become the dog trainer that. And that next bit of the sentence is essentially the brand strategy, if you want to sum it up into something really succinct. Hopefully that explains it.
Really succinct. Yeah. Yeah. And so I think, yeah, it's been a really interesting process. We'd done some work on this in the past, but we had a little trouble trying to lock it down. And Kate, I met you through a mutual friend and connection, Rachel Spencer, who you've done work for, and I've been part of her membership, which is just in the process of changing. But thank you, Rachel, for being the connecting piece there. And she does a great pet planner. In fact, I've got my pet planner here amongst the
Oh,
mess
I
of
love
stuff on my desk. Oh, look, here's a bit of side promo for you. Here, oh, there you go. Um, this is
it.
something else that Kate's worked on with our friend Rachel, your pet business content planner. Keep a lookout for those for next year. Um, and so that strategy piece, yeah, really locking down, what's our vision, what's our mission, what are we aiming to achieve, who do we serve, who are we here to
Hmm.
help, what are our competitors doing, and how do we differ from what our competitors are doing. There's kind of been a whole lot of pieces that we've gone through with you. And I'm really curious, Kate, about part of the reason. I guess that we brought you on board is because I'd heard you on a podcast. I knew you worked with Rachel. I'd seen you do a webinar, and I was like, yes, I think you're the right person, the right head to get involved in Abbey's Run Equestrian. We need you to join our extended family because we had butcher's paper up in our office. We sent you photos of that. We had sticky
Mhm.
noted what we do, and we'd move the sticky notes around and tried to group them. And we just couldn't kind of land on succinctly what it is that we're about.
Yeah.
So that's, I was like, oh yeah, I think Kate has the right brain to do that for because we just couldn't. We just couldn't. So what did you hear? Like what stands out to you about what we do here at Abbey's Run Equestrian that and I know we're a bit of an anomaly because you often work with dog and cat folk, but
Mhm.
I know you've reflected to us some of the stuff that stood out that you've then been able to take and carry through as we've looked at the visuals.
Yeah, I think the one conversation that we had, we've had loads of conversations, and there's a lot we could go through. But I think the one conversation that we had that it just the penny dropped for me, and I don't know whether it's because I'm not necessarily in the horse world as much. But the one thing we spoke about was sort of the historical reference through time and how we've always asked something from horses. We've always asked them to do a job for us. We've asked them to serve us. We've asked them to be ridden. We've asked them to perform. And you were essentially saying, I'm not about that. I'm about the relationship and the understanding. And I think we spoke about just how many times people with horses will just go outside and just stand and just be with the horse. And there was something I think really special about that moment that just felt like that is surely that's what we want. We don't want to just keep asking of them. We don't want to just constantly say we want this, we want this. We want that sort of human animal interspecies relationship that people love. That people just yeah, I feel like I'm going tingly now. But that people really want from animals, it's a special connection, isn't it? And the more we understand them, the more they understand us, the more willing they are to do these things. We're not forcing them into a box, telling them to do this, that, and the other. Because when we came back to it, essentially, what people wanted when they came to you was training for a horse. And it's not necessarily the horse, is it? It's the horse and the human as an entity. And I think that stuck with me, the fact that you weren't asking of the horse, it was asking of the human and the horse to connect better overall and facilitating that in honestly such a gorgeous way, in a way that doesn't have any negative impacts in any way. It was really soft and holistic and lovely. And I hope,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh, that's really lovely. Thank you. You put out a reel today about our new branding. You put a great caption on that too. Do you have that in front of you? Because I, t I mean, we've done this brand strategy and that's great, but now I have to learn what I have to learn to recount what's in the brand strategy. And Kate's already doing that better than Ben or I are. Um,
Do you know what though? In every sort of thing, it's like this. Somebody said to me the other day, it's like the cobbler's children never have shoes, and I'd never heard that
yeah,
saying before. But
yeah.
when you do something for yourself, it's so much harder because you're in it. You are like at the epicenter of everything that's going on, and to do it for yourself is actually really, really hard. I struggle myself, but to do it for somebody else, because you can take in that information as an outsider, and you are that second pair of eyes. You can kind of hover above it and you can see it as a full picture. But when you're in it, pushing
Mm.
it out is quite difficult. Let me read this for you. So, um, I'll just read it out. So it says a brand built around compassionate horse training, welfare education, and helping people build stronger partnerships with their horses through understanding, trust, and connection. There's quite a lot, but founded by Sarah and Ben, who are lifelong animal lovers. I know you've got horses and other animals as well, which is lovely. And just a side note, I love that we had a conversation. You called the horses paddock dogs,
Yes.
the dogs house horses. I just sounded so lovely because it is the same. Like people will have dogs in the house and that like they are the same, aren't they? The same energy, same love, all of that sort of stuff, and it's beautiful. Um, and that you're not asking for a change of behavior in the horse necessarily. You're looking for a deeper understanding at a foundational level, creating the trust and a more harmonious relationship between the horse and the human. Um, and a little bit then just about what we spoke about the generations and how things have changed. And I think like you guys are such great advocates for how we could see horses moving forward and how we can kind of undo the fact that we've just used them as commodities, hopefully. And the more people that come to you and understand horses deeper, then the less horses there are sort of feeling like they have to perform for people and feeling like it's not a two-way street.
Yeah. And we get horses who have more choice in engaging with us and doing things with us,
Exactly.
which
Yeah.
is so powerful when they have a choice and they choose to say yes. Ah, that's just next level. Brilliant.
Yeah. Magical moment.
Yeah. Oh, look, and the horses are called paddock dogs here because if our floor would tolerate them being in the house, they would have been in the house years ago. Like, let's be
I'm
honest,
sure.
I would have had them in. So our floor and veranda is not going to tolerate horses on it. Sadly, sadly. Um, okay, so my next question, I just wanted to ask you because the first step in this process we did a lot of talking and you heard what we did and we started to work on what that was the brand strategy, but the visuals come into that as well. And I know you
Mhm.
talked to us about how some really funky science that sits behind colors and how what colors make us feel, how we interpret brands based on colors or interpret things based on colors and around fonts and different imagery. So um, how did you land with our imagery or with any imagery, like when you go through that process of hearing what we explain we do, what you've just kind of married back to me, how do you then take that and work with the science to convert that into imagery for the people you work with?
Oh, so I love I am such a nerd for brand psychology and visual psychology, but everything we see has an impact, even if we don't necessarily realize it. Um, so in terms of Abbey's run, I can see the logo obviously sat behind you. We had what we spoke about was, yeah, there we go, was it being quite structured and quite, science backed. There's a lot that's behind it that just makes a lot of sense in terms of what you deliver. So that was quite regimented, which you can see in the Abbey's text. But then we're dealing with horses, you know, you've got that wildness, you've got that sort of bit more of a flavour and character, which you can see in the run. It is very equine. It's sometimes hard to put into words, but it just fits.
That kind of
And the two link
fluidity or
together.
that kind of movement, isn't it? As opposed to the
Exactly.
structure that we have in some of the way we do our programs. And we try and
Yes.
have a step-by-step structure for people because a lot of humans like that, but we know that horses don't necessarily read by that playbook and they are
Oh, exactly.
a little
Yeah.
bit more organic, maybe.
Yes, but the two together, pretty much from a quick visual, you can see the structure there. There's a bit of elegance there as well that it makes it more feminine. I know your audience is very feminine. You've also got the nature, you've got the stuff about the land with the eucalypt in the A. Um, do apologize if you can hear my dog barking. And everything together, even if you don't take it in an instant, it's essentially there in a quick visual. If you pasted a wall of text about what Abby's Run is and you sat and read through it, or you looked just at this logo, you would probably more better understand quicker what you're about. Hopefully. Hopefully that all makes sense. You've got structure, you've got elegance, you've got space. Um, it things like white space, they feel closer to people. They feel like they're more accessible. You see it in different brands. So like if you were buying a Rolex, for example, because they're more exclusive, they use a lot darker colours. And that actually feels heavier and further away and harder to obtain. So when we're using things like brighter colours, light space, things like that, it actually brings people closer. So even the where things are placed. So I've given Sarah some lovely Canva templates and things to use. So there's lots of spacing around the logo. There's lots of uncomplicated text. Like you've got the word equestrian there, you've got space in between letters. It's again that bit's not it's not fancy, it's simple, it's clear. It hopefully brings that whole feeling through. And then you've got the monogram, which has got the horse and the human in it. So then you have got the sort of literal side of it as well. So across what we've got together, fits really well with the brand strategies because everything we spoke about, we've got the structure, we've got the science, we've got that sort of a feminine caring side. Um, with the eucalypt, we've got the nature, and then we've got the wildness of the horses, and we've got the space and the clarity, all succinctly dropped into a little little logo.
And so you said when we were talking about it, that there are like there's that psychology, or I'm talking about it as a science, and to me, psychology is a science
Mhm.
around how people perceive colors. And you just mentioned that there about like the Rolexes and the dark colors. And so that like that's an area of science that I don't know much about, or psychology, but colors have different effects on people, like
Mhm.
for for reasons. Um, yeah, that's fascinating. And so we've ended up with, I think, what, seven brand colors. So I'm curious. I know one of our members asked the question of why seven? Like, is that there should be seven, or sometimes there's seven, or but what's can you tell us a bit more about that? Because that's fascinating.
Yeah, of course. So every brand you can have there's this thing of like, oh, you should only ever have two colors. You should only have three. You should only have five. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You could have 100. As long as you have a bit of a guidance on how much of each color you use. If you threw a rainbow of color all over the place all at the same time, then it would be really overwhelming for people. And it just would be too much. Your eyes would be everywhere. So, yes, you've got seven colors, but that doesn't mean those seven colors are used all the time. Anyway, so you've got the teal for recognizability because that's come through for your original brand. Um, it's was for the
Show
eucalypt
that.
leaf as well.
I can actually show that to everybody.
Yeah.
Here you go. Hopefully everybody can see that. Yep.
And you've got my silly names. So
Yeah,
you
if you go,
got
yeah,
the
yeah, we need to say if you go to the hardware, do not ask for these names. These names, Kate gave these colors. Look at the hex, RGB, and CMYK codes. So if you're trying to buy the paint to
yes, don't
match
buy the paints
these,
off mine.
yeah,
I
don't,
tried to
yeah,
keep it equine based, and then there was a few different things. But we got the deep teal because that was always the original brand, and if something's recognized, then you never strip it out. If it's a feature of a brand, we can always bring it through. You will see in equine brands pretty much universally there is brown. It's a very earthy colour. Most horses have got brown in them. Um, so that is recognisable in the industry. But if we had done Abbey's run all brown, you would basically be the same as every other equine brand because it's a brown heavy industry. Don't know if anyone else has noticed that, but I've definitely saw it in the research. This sort of pale white colour is the background. So again, I try not to, where I can, use a stark white because it's quite harsh on the eyes. So this lovely creamy colour, it acts as a base. It supports the cooler colours and the warmer colours, and it builds a bridge. So a colour on its own, yes, there's it invokes different thoughts, but colours as a palette as well can have an effect. And we look at the Granny Smith here, and I think there was a little bit of debate whether we wanted to keep that or take that away. But if you look at the palette as a whole, the Granny Smith gives it a little bit of a fun factor as well. Because I know you guys aren't like super serious. Like stern teachers are going to tell you exactly what to do. There's still laughter, there's still joy in there, and that colour sort of lifts that as well, and it ties everything together. So every single colour plays a part in it, and together they become the brand. Um, but I think is that there's a page somewhere in there where it kind of shows how much of each one we use, did we?
Yeah, I'll find that. Hang
Can't
on.
remember.
Uh, oh, that's not talk so much about the colors, but that talks about percentage of time
Yes,
used
oh, it's logos,
places.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes. So you
yeah,
would probably heavily use the cream color because it's more of a background color.
yeah,
And then the two colors you can see on the logo, they would be your main colors. But then when you drop in the Granny Smith color as an accent,
which we've
you
got
can sort of see
here.
even behind you, yeah, on these mountains behind, you can just see it just brightens the whole thing up and
Yeah.
it brings that joy and happiness and light back into it as well. So it balances out the serious side of the science stuff and the structural stuff with a little bit of the joy.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Kate, before we wrap up, is there anything else that people need to know about branding? Like, is there any kind of take home message from you about branding? Yeah, to tell who's watching.
Yeah, so one thing I heard like the past couple of weeks is I've heard people say they don't have a brand. Like small businesses, they'll say, "Well, I'm just me. They might not have a proper logo or this, that, and the other, but I don't have a brand." Branding is not a thing, so it's a perception. And
Mm,
this is one thing that I often try and explain to people. A brand is how people see you. It's what they know about you from what information is in front of them. And branding is the act of shaping how people perceive that. So essentially, what we have done is we have taken all the bits out of the middle of Abbey's branding and all your values and all the amazing things that you do and made it into something that's visual, made it into something that people will understand and perceive from smaller elements without having to go and, listen to a really long spiel or read a bunch of text to understand it. It gives more understanding on a quicker level. So, anyone with a business, you have a brand. Even if you're new, if you have ever put anything out publicly, people have a perception of that. Good, bad, medium, whatever. That is the brand. It is the reputation of your business in everybody else's eyes. It's quite a difficult thing to shape that. And the idea is not necessarily to influence anyone, I suppose it is really, isn't it? But to grab anyone from outside of who wouldn't get it. It's shaping that perception to the right people who need the
yeah,
service, who understand, who have the same morals, who who just get it and buy into that. And it's that creating that resonance between brand and human that is a little bit special. It's quite hard to do. It's weird when you sell something that people can't see. But that is the explanation of it as a whole. It's not a logo, it's not a color scheme, it is a perception. And strategy, visuals, websites, anything you put out feeds into that.
yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a really important message for anyone else who's watching who has a business. Kate, thank you for all that spiel. Now, in lieu of cutting a ribbon to celebrate the launch of our new branding and brand strategy, we have some baling twine, and it's purple baling twine because apparently several weeks ago I learned that a conversation about purple baling twine was what was needed in this world, given that's one of our posts that's actually gone kind of viral. So I would ask you to cut it, Kate, but I didn't think to send you any in time. So we'd just like to formally cut the ribbon of baling twine on our new on our, on our new branding. There we go, huzzah! Our new branding is now open, which is
I love it.
which is great. Yes. Um, so I just want to let everybody know that now that we're wrapping up this project with Kate, which has been fabulous, and Kate and I are going to stay in touch and talk about things like canal boats and stuff. That's a whole other side conversation. I just wanted to let people know that we have a little extra time. So we are opening up some one-on-one horse behaviour assessments for free. These are half an hour in length. They're done over Zoom, just like Kate and I are on Zoom now, but managed to get this to live stream to Facebook. Wonders will never cease. And you can book a time at a day and time that best suits you. We've got a bunch open. What else do I need to know about you? So we're going to chat about what's going on with your horse. Maybe you're having a problem. Maybe there's something that you're wanting to work on that you're a bit stuck about how to get started on, or maybe you're feeling just entirely overwhelmed about where to begin, or you just need a bit of inspiration. Any of those things, please feel free to book your free one-on-one with me, and we'll sit down, we'll have a chat, I'll ask you some questions, and then I'm going to give you a bunch of proactive actions that you can walk away with and go and do that are going to make a difference. It's not a sales call. I mean, we have a business, and if you want to hear about how I can help you more, we will do that at the end. But I just want to stress it is not a I get a lot of telemarketers calling me. It's not that at all. So yes, I'd love to chat to you if you would like a bit of a hand with your horse. And we're excited to be seeing some of you this week who've already booked your free 30-minute one-on-one horse behavior assessment with us. If you'd like to book that, you can find a post from me that's on the 1st of July. So what are we? It's the 6th of July today. So if you scroll back down our page, and there's a link there that you can book and pick the day and time that suits you. Okay, conscious of time. Kate, thank you so much for joining us all the way from the UK. I know it's evening here in Australia, and you're now about like midday.
Lunchtime.
Midday?
Yeah,
Yeah.
midday.
And I just wanted to say to you as well, and to all our other friends in the UK, I hope you survive the stinking hot heat that I think you've got more of coming your way this week. We're used to it here in Australia, but it's a different proposition over there where the infrastructure is just
Mhm.
not built for you guys to cope like we can here. So good luck with that. We're
Yeah.
going to put out a post this week on suggestions to help.
Oh, thank you. That'd be good.
You're
Send us a
welcome.
good one.
You're welcome. If you want to know, oh, where did I put it? Oh, don't you hate it when things don't save in a Word document? Oh. If you want to find out more about Kate, her website is, I think it's finbostudio.co.uk. Is that right,
Hmm.
Kate?
Yeah,
So
that's one.
you can see how to spell Finbo on the screen, Finbo
Hmm.
studio.co.uk. If you want to see more about our branding, you can head to www.abbeysrunequestrian.com.au because a lot of the imagery and colours are already up and fonts are already up on our website. And we'll be continuing to update across our socials for the next few days. So thank you everyone for tuning in. Hello, I see Rachel Flynn that you have tuned in as well, and Ellie. So hello to both of you and anyone else that's tuned in. And now comes the challenge of figuring out how to stop how to stop how to stop the live stream. So I go over here. So there's just no easy stop button. Oh, end live video. Okay, I'll try this. I'll try and end the live video. So see you later, Facebook, and we'll see you, yeah, in a one-on-one soon. Bye.